And joining me now to share his thoughts about this is a public affairs analyst, Olayinka Oladaniels. Good to have you join us.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. As it is customary now, we see the reeling out of achievement from whether local, state and federal government. Even the National Assembly is also assessed, by the media and just the general public at times like this. And so the Information Minister has read out the achievement, about 100 of them, of this administration for this year. He mentioned the growth in GDP in the second quarter and the third quarter of about 5% and 4% respectively. He talked about the purchase of equipment for the Nigerian military. He also talked about the increase in revenue from taxes and just several things he talked about. But before we get to the challenges that he talked about, let me get your thought on the achievements mentioned and then the impact of these achievements on Nigerians.
I belong to the school of thought that believe that this administration has done something. I don't belong to that school that says he has not done anything at all. I belong to that school that because some of us, we have seen some of the changes in this government. However, the question you asked, the impact on the public, on the people, have we felt any impact as a people? The average man out there, the market woman out there, we know what food is today. We cannot say we have food security in the country. So because when we ask about all this achievement and the impact on the people, is it the security with all the Cicado and some of those things that are, well, maybe because they're just being brought in now, but even before then, we know what happens every day. The Northeast, I'm sure the testimony will not be the same testimony of you and I in Lagos and several other places like that. I mean, from the bandits to the terrorists, and when it comes to security, even in these or other cities, we know what is happening everywhere, kidnapping everywhere and all. So how can we say that has impacted the community, has impacted the people? Yes, no doubt, maybe some achievement, but my take on this list of achievement is not of a good recommendation. Why did I say so? Because we run a mediocracy system of government long before now. So when some of the so-called achievement listed on this so-called 100 list, it's sad because they're not things we should jump and celebrate as achievement. Some of these things are basic, amenities that should ordinarily be, available for us. What any government should come to an office to fix is what we are seeing today. Maybe because we are used to that mediocracy, we are used to that system where, when they do one thing, they celebrate it that, yes, because some other people or some other administrations had not been able to do that because we don't have continuity. So it is sad that some of the things listed by the information minister in this list are not things to be celebrated at all.
And when you look at, just to come in, when you look at some of these achievements, especially around taxation, Nigerians have also had to bear the brunt of that achievement. We know that VAT was increased recently, and that falls on the shoulders of Nigerians who are also having to pay more for electricity, who are having to pay more for food, who are trying to provide security for themselves even at this time. Why do you think there is a disparity between the achievements of the president being read out by the information minister and the well-being of Nigerians? Is it that we're not because we're not focusing on, the presidency isn't focusing on the priority of Nigerians, or there is just something amiss when you look at the achievements and impact?
Like I said, what you call achievement is subjective here. They just increased VAT to 7.5. Next year, already they are telling us, the Minister of Finance is already telling us that by next year, they're going to increase revenues increase taxes, meaning that all this is going to come to an average Nigerian, to every Nigerian that is struggling, that they are even still struggling in fixing what they have today. They struggle to eat. They struggle to, what is the minimum wage? How much do they earn? How much do they spend? And how can they go, when they go to market, what do they buy with the little they have? Everything has skyrocketed. And yet the government is calling burden, is calling suffering, is calling all that achievement. I do not see it as an achievement. If government feels okay, it's by increasing revenues, by increasing taxes over its people, and does not care whether they are okay or not, I can't call it an achievement. So that is why I said this is subjective. It's subjective, because what have they even done with the so-called the increment of the 7.5% that we've had so far? With all this, what we get every time is borrowing, is taking loan. Then even the minister is calling, acquiring loans an achievement. It is sad. It is absurd. I just talked about mediocracy. That's the system of a particular social class, of the hierarchy, or a social hierarchy, thinking that yes, they are there, so they don't care. You cannot call it an achievement. How does it come on the average Nigerian? How do they benefit? What do they benefit from this so-called suffering called achievement? The reason why I said yes, I'm not saying that the entire list.
We'll see how this plays out in 2022 as we continue to project into next year, which is barely 24 hours to the 2022. We'll see how things play out in terms of fixing insecurity, power, and just food items. Thank you so much for talking to us, public affairs analyst Olayinka Oladaniels.
Thank you for having me. Always. Thank you.